I do, Mick Poultney from the West Midlands, Colligate, UK obviously. I'm just going to show you my up-to-date composting methods. Through trial and error over the years, I can make compost now. I've got it down to 3 weeks, and I'm also using it as a growing medium. I'm on YouTube with composting methods. I've also got a DVD out on my composting. But there's new products I'm adding all the time. So today I'm covering everything. So you'll get an up-to-date version of it. Basically, for me, Monday is my composting day. So during the week, from one Monday to another, like the sun's today, so it would have been tomorrow composting, but we're going to do it today. Meaning, I've got a week's supply of kitchen waste and garden waste, and that's what I'm going to show you now. Kitchen waste, luckily we got a caddy to hold our kitchen waste in. This lot of what I've been saving during the week, as you can see, it's gone a bit mouldy already. But it's normal kitchen waste, banana skins, pea arms, potato peelings, even bread. You can see the mould on there already, started going. It is a good mould, what you get on the bread. And this lot, what I use is takeaway bags. So looking at this lot, once again, banana skins, take him off. Also your eggshells. These are your lime content. This keeps your pH neutral. If you don't use eggshells, you might have to use a lime. But the worms will tell you. If there's something missing, something wrong, the worms will let you know. I've never had to use lime because of my eggshells. Now I need to swill them out, cook them. We'll get to that later. So any gump, there's nothing, no cooked foods going in. If it's cooked, bloody ate it. That's what it's there for. There's no scraps in our house. So this is my kitchen waste, and this is what I'm doing. Monday morning, I empty this lot into there. So I've got the kitchen waste, also up the garden. This is grass cuttings. This going off a bit because it was done 4 days ago. We've also got clematis which I clip, throw them on the lawn, and that chops and mixes up everything. So that's them lot ready to go down there. What you've also got to have is your brown waste. This is your carbon, and there's 2 lots of that. One lot is this lot here. I've got another caddy over here, and basically it's ripped up ingredients. Loo rolls, egg boxes, and also I save the tea bags. Just go over to this one again, but tea bags are saved in here because these are made of 30% plastic. They will not break down, meaning you can either dry them out or you can bung them in as they are. We'll just open them up and empty the tea in there. Tea, spent tea, is a good activator for the compost. It is a natural product. All my ingredients are natural, meaning they're going to break down. Common sense. So that one as well, I will also empty. These are egg boxes and loo rolls, kitchen rolls. Nothing coloured, nothing glossy, just in case. But you can rip these up on a night when you're watching the box. That's what I do. The smaller the ingredients, the quicker the breakdown process. So them lot are in there. The tea's already been mixed with it. So I've got that and these to go down to the cloth. While we're here, I'll also show you in the garage of the extra carbon. Right, somebody else has to get out of the garage. Is more carbon, which is shredded paper. We'll go through that later on. Extra carbon as well. Cardboard box. I'm sorry I can't keep these in the kitchen, but cardboard boxes. That's ideal for ripping up. large egg trays, if you can get them, excellent. The old man was in hospital having his ticket done. We went visiting, he had a piddle in here, says go and empty that. So I went and emptied it. And when I finished I thought, why throwing that away? So I stamped on it and smuggled it out my underpants. Paper mache in it, it's going to break down. Excellent stuff. Right, shredder for shredding my paper. Let's bung him on. We had chips yesterday. This is a chip paper. Obviously before it has a the shredder I've got now is a cross shredder, meaning it cuts it that road and that road, which is brilliant. And I'm off of Amazon. Get most of my stuff up there. Most of the papers I've tried, newspapers, computer, paper and everything. And one of the best ones, paperback books. It's not glossy and it's not coloured. And the older the book, the better. What I do now, I go down the charity shops and I look for an old book, even if it's hard cover. But you'll pick a book up and you can smell it. You can smell the pages breaking down already. This is what you want. This paper breaks down within 3 days. It's brilliant stuff. So I just rip them off, bung them in here. And the end result, obviously, if it's shredded, that's small, meaning it's going to break down twice as quick as what it thought was. So I've also got a bag of that to take down to the plot as well. While we're in here, one of the ingredients down there, which I use down there, is chicken muck. There's loads of, well, pigeon and chicken muck. There's loads of pigeon flies about. But pigeon and chicken muck is strong. It's obviously full of nitrogen like everything else, but it's bloody strong if you use it in lumps. Meaning, the smaller you can get it, the better. And that's what I do here. I shred it. As you can see, that's the end product in here. You can still see the pigeon feathers. But instead of being in big lumps, it's now in powder form. Meaning, it's not going to be so strong. So that is one of my mixtures. Also in here, it's in that one. I got it in the boot. I'm already again. Right, we've got everything here now. We're now going to leg it down the plot and start composting. Okay, let's do it. Right, we've now got down to Abbey Road allotments. Obviously, where my compost bins are. There's 2 ways you can compost. You can use heat or you can use worms. I use worms because I want them as an end product. They do my digging. I dug for 28 here. That's why they was invented. Use them. The more you can work with nature, the better. Nature will win every time. I've got a mate who uses heat. In fact, he's the only bloke I know who uses heat. If you use heat, you don't get no worms. But he uses the end product to top dress all his raised beds, his garden, whatever. The only thing we're using heat, you've got to turn it because it's only in the middle that's cooking. That's why you turn is to get the rest going as well. But we'll do the procedure as I come down to on a Monday morning. So this is what we do. I bought all the stuff out of the kitchen with us. The carbon and the chopped ingredients which are there. I've now got waste out the allotment itself. So these are sprout leaves. Got them about 4 days ago, which you can see. The grapevine, which I've pruned in the tunnel. Them are off there. There would be a comfrey, which I'd go and get off my mate's plot, but that's too much hassle for this because I ain't prepared or nothing. Plus there's loads of other stuff off the plot, but we've got enough here to get going through. Under this carpet here, I've got other ingredients which are there permanent. So, I'll lift these off. The carpet is just to protect the ingredients from the elements. i.e. rain, frost and whatever. Plug him down there. Right, how do I get my compost ready so quick? The smaller you get the ingredient, the more you can mix it. That's the less work for nature and the worms when it goes in the bin. So the hardest I work on the plot is chopping everything up. Bucket, good solid bucket, and head shears. So these lot are doing. Kitchen waste, don't forget. Smaller you can get them, the more you can mix them, which will mix after when it's in the bin. But this breaks up the eggshells as well. If you don't chop them up like this, just crush them with your hand. Grow this compost as quickly as possible. So that's why I chop it up. Some people are going to say, oh, too much hassle, too much like hard work. Well, I don't know what you did for a living, if that's hard work. Empty compost bag. Bung that in. Grass cuttings, which we got earlier on. If you put them in as like that once, it'll just go to a soggy mess. So help them out. Just sprinkle it and put a bit of carbon on. And a bit more. So we chop a bit more green. Bung them in as well. Obviously there's loads of stuff that's seasonal, but we'll cover that in a bit. Because you still can get stuff off eBay in pellet form dried, but I'll show you that. Right, chopped up again. Get them in the bin. Bit more grass. Bit more carbon, then I'll open these up. This one is spent peat. This is out my grow bags from the year before, or any pots I've been growing stuff in. It's still good to use. Use it. Cheeky bugger. This one is worm casts. Beautiful stuff. I'll get that by the pallet now for our trading sheds, but excellent stuff. This one's wood ash burner, another natural product, use it. This one is manure from heaven. Whatever manure you get, that's where you get your worms. Don't matter whether it's ox, cow, camel, goat, whatever. Every manure has got a property in it which other manure hasn't. That's why I use loads of different manures. But your manure, that's the best activator you can get, and it will also give you your worms. Don't forget, this lot is the worms' feed. They will multiply rapidly and go through the lot. All you got to do is look after them. This one is spent mushroom compost. Obviously they grow the mushrooms in this, and it's a byproduct and they have to get rid of it. I buy that bulk as well for our trading sheds. But all these ingredients are good for filling a raised bed when you bed them as well. So another good one. If you ever need anything, just put it on the internet and then your postcode, it'll give you your nearest supplier. This is compost what one of the councils are flogging as a recycled compost, and that's giving that away. That's how crap it is. Same as our council. The stuff I'm giving away is rubbish. But if I can do it, they can do it. Right, to the bags. Nearly run out of that one. That's sawdust. You just make sure the wood hasn't been treated before. Rabbit droppings. That's off my mate. Obviously he's got a rabbit for his little one. For anything like that. guinea pig, rabbits. This one, probably the most important one you got to put in your compost heap. People forget to put this in. Topsoil. The best topsoil you can get around here is molehills. I've riddled it for you. One pinch of topsoil. There's millions of good bacteria and fungi. You've got to have topsoil in there. This is reaming rock dust, basalt rock dust. From Jennifer, Scotland. Excellent stuff. I buy this by the ton for our trading sheds again. Because it's volcanic. This volcanic is from the centre of the earth, meaning this, we got the minerals and trace elements which we ain't got up here. And that's excellent stuff. That's one of my ingredients for the compost. Also my raised beds are top dressed with it every year. Another ingredient, wood chip. I have wood chip delivered on site for our pathways. And after a couple of days, piddle down, next morning, it was bloody cooking. I thought that's going to be a good one as an ingredient. Obviously any big lumps, and I'll clear them off. But as a compost ingredient, excellent stuff. I spent peat again out the grow bag. Just a different brew. This one was a cheap compost which a nursery was selling, and it was that cheap. I bought one to see if it's any good for ground, and it's crap, but it's a good ingredient for the compost heap. This is spent ox from a brewery, another natural product, and they have to get rid of it. Breweries used to pay people to get rid of it. Now, because they have all the gardening clubs around here have had me talk, everybody's going now and nicking it. But exactly the same again, just put breweries on the internet, then put your postcode, and just give you your nearest breweries. The fruit farmers are clicking on because they're nicking it as well, and spread it on their fruit trees, under the fruit trees. But excellent ingredient, spent ops. This one spent coffee grounds. Obviously everyone get that. Another natural product, and it's a good activator. Slugs and snails hate it. If you've got any asters, anything like that, sprinkle that around the plant. Slugs will go nowhere near it. If it piddles down, wash it away, just bung some more down. Tesco, when we used to do the shopping, the wenches up there have got a bag, a bin liner, third full of spent coffee grounds for us. They got it ready. But any place that's got a cafeteria, they bung them. Just go and ask them for them. Excellent stuff. Another one of my bags is leaf mould. We should have bins later down there anyway, but my leaf mould's ready after 3 months. But I'm just using that as an additive to my compost. I used to use it before as a top dressing, but I just use it as a compost ingredient now. This one is off muck again, but it's got loads of straw in. Straw being a natural product, because they use straw in the stables, and that soaks up the urine of the oss, and that's full of nitrogen, so use it. And that's another dollop of muck. This is using wood shavings, but worms in there, they tell me it's a good brew. Right, what I'm going to do now, I've just chopped that up, put it into a bag. I'm now going to get a double handful of everything and put it into there. So, spent peat, worm cast, wood burner ash, muck, spent mushroom compost, rubbish council compost, not very much in there, I'll just go there. That was just sawdust. Pelleted rabbit muck. If that went in one big dollop, that'd be too strong. Exactly the same as the pigeon or chicken muck. But because it's small lumps like that, and I'll show you the chicken muck in a bit. At the back of the motor. Wood chip. Topsoil. Obviously any stones, pebbles, clear them off. Rock dust, get that in. Another peat. Spent coffee grounds. Spent tops. It's a bit damp, usually it's more loose than that. Leaf mould. Muck with the straw. Muck with the sawdust. Get these back down here. I'll leave these in case anybody car comes around or something. One I've missed down here, which is sand. Our kid bunged a few bags of sand away, doing a bit of a building job. But it's a natural product, any sand, bung down as well. So the rest of my carbon can go in. Rest of me grass cuttings. Also, I've got an extra, which is this. This is a mixture of stuff which we're going to have a perv now. This is my bonus. I'll show you what that is now. Right, luckily I was talking at BBC Gardeners World Live last year. I had a display on and my composting methods. And I got all these trays open. Luckily I ain't binned them, I've kept them. But that one I've just showed you, this is in the garage as well. And as you've just seen, half a jug of that because it's in the mixture, which is these lot here. Porridge, these are through trial and error again, extras. Porridge, worms love it. There's a chap in Australia I'm following. He's a bit of a geek and all. Only get the Chepin. I think a bag only cost 28 pence and that lasts me 4 weeks. Chicken and pigeon muck. As we mentioned before, that's shredded, so it is not in one big dollop, so it ain't so strong. This is coir or coke. This is the husk of coconuts. That's used as a grind medium. I've tried that. There's another one. Strut as well if you don't get it. There ain't many chimney sweeps around nowadays, or people that How bloody shit anyway. Seaweed, anything that's seaweed based, I love it. I love it. Because we live in the Midlands and you can't get seaweed, it's bloody hard. Cheat and go to Holland and Barrett and get sea kelp tablets, just crush one of them up. We got the same thing. When I first started getting that, I used to bring it home, lie it out, and it's surprising how quick it dries, and then put it through the, well, I'd swill it off, then dry it out and put it through the shredder, and it comes out in that form. But I've since found out the salts that are on the seaweed are good salts, don't need washing off. Charcoal, that's another one to get hold of, that's in there as well. There's also comfrey pellets. Most of these pellets are off eBay. Like comfrey is seasonal, we got it now, but in a couple of months time, same as nettles, they'll die off. So I get the pellets off eBay. So I've still got them 12 months of the year. This is easy mulch. Basically it's just pelleted straw, and I had them off a mate who's promoting it. So I bung those as well. Layers chicken pellets. I had two mates who got a worm farm and the worm cast I was binning. But layers chicken pellets, shredded newspaper, and multi-purpose compost. That was the only bedding that I was using for the worms. That was a feed for them. This is me guano, bat dung. As I mentioned before, any crap you can get is good, and that's the one I got off eBay. But I'm still trying that. This is a bit strong, but obviously I ain't going to put a good dollop in, or enough. Gypsum, another natural product, and that's good for the compost. Worms love that one as well. And that's the nettle pellets. If it's out of season, if the nettles are out of season. And this one is called charge. Basically, it's beetle dung. My mate's got a mate who's got a beetle farm, and he went and had a nose, and he got some of this off him, sent it away for analysis, and it is excellent stuff. The goodness is in there. Well, it's that good now, he bags it up, flogs it. So that's another ingredient. So all them lot are in here. Them are an extras. Also, this lot here, back of the motor. There's some of these we've already gone through, but this was a new ingredient 2 weeks ago. Another natural product, cork. My mate managed to borrow some of that from work. Potting grit. There ain't many places that flog that now, but I had half a bag from Fair's shed. Wood chip mentioned, rabbit droppings. When you buy a bag of multi-purpose compost, you've always got lumps in it, which you throw out. So I'll just keep them for my compost, because the worms will go through that for us. Bracken, another good one if you don't get it. Another natural product, obviously that's seasonal. Even if it's just straw, and it's just straw alone, it ain't had no muck with it or nothing, it's still natural and it will break down, use it. Pine cones, if you don't collect them, I shred them as well. Comfrey, it's been in there a while, as you can see, that was for my display last week. Wood burner ash, as you mentioned before, and worm cast. So it's just, all these are natural products. Some you can get, some you can't, but the more you can mix and the smaller you can get them and mix them, the better the breakdown process. I'll just show you now me mixing it. Get a bag out there first. Whatever you chop off, if it's too much for you, just split the bag into two. You'll get neck on your back up in it. Shouldn't do that. It's a bit wider, that bag there. I'll use that one. That's just to show it everything mixed. There's no big lumps in there now. Well, not too many in a row. But the worms will go through that, not easy enough. You got your carbon in, you got your browns, greens, everything. So that lot set down to the bin. The weather's good. Well, I've just walked down to the end of the plot, down to my compost bins. Originally, before these come out, I had the 4-foot square wooden pallets. I had one for osmuck, one for leaf mould, and one for garden waste. And that was lined with plastic all the way around, and it had a carpet lid on the top. But that took 2 months to break down. Might be a bit longer in the winter. But when these come out, and I started using these, I see I've got it down to a month, well, 3 weeks now. All the ingredients I'm using, which are up there, they're all different in the sense, because they've got lumps in there still. I'm going to hang on to moisture, oxygen and warmth, which is what the roots want once this lot gets out there into a raised bed. So we just come down here. I ain't opened none of these up for a week or nothing. In use. I've got 6 bins, 2 for leaf mould and 4 for compost. During the winter these have got carpet around them, which is over the back there. Old carpet just goes around, and that's put in place by just tape. Because I don't want these to freeze, I want compost. I want my worms working 12 months of the year. If we get a -2 or 3, then I'll put a carpet lid on as well. But we ain't had, been a couple of years now since we've had a good one. Now we get the summer in, and I don't want them to cook, meaning I take the carpet off. These come off a couple of months ago, and I used to paint them with white emulsion, and that repel the heat and the light, meaning they don't cook. But now I just line it with plastic. Luckily I've got a mate who he got a roll of white plastic, fell off the back of a wagon, so I'll use that. So I have a perv in here. Take my carpet lid off. 2 bits of carpet. This is last week's brew. You can see my little chaps in there working away merrily. So all I do now, put half of this in. Choose your 2-inch layer, level it. Because I haven't got enough carbon in there, i.e. brown waste, this is where your extra shredded paper comes in. Don't forget, on worm farms this is all they use. Shredded paper, layers chicken pellets and multi-purpose compost. Worms love it. That lot that goes in, now we've got to wet it. You can't overwater because you've got the drainage. I use liquid osmuck. This comes from heaven. Good brew. Obviously, where they got the biggest pile of osmuck you've ever seen. But they have a runoff when it piddles down a rain, and there's a nice little pool at the bottom of liquid osmuck, and I collect that as well. Another good ingredient you can have if you know someone who owns an off license or something, just ask him when he's doing his stock check. If he says I do it on a Monday, say, well, first Monday of the month. Say, right then, first Tuesday of the month, I'll come and throw it all away for you. That's very kind of you. Meaning, this is out of date, but don't get bin in it. Just bung it on your heap. Good brew. We used to have an alcoholic on site. If you're on the alky, I can hear a ring pull from 3 mile away. I used to open a can and he'd see me pouring this on. He was alright though, he looked after his plot. So we've just put a 2-inch layer on, then we get a good soaking. Worms have got to stay moist. Worms breathe through the skin. If they start drying out, I'm going to clear off. They're going to go deeper after moisture. Keep that nice and moist. Carpet lid on top. Because before I used to have the lid, this plastic lid on, and there was never any activity on top, and you got that cold void from the lid to the surface. Since I started putting carpet on, as it breaks down, that carpet drops with it, and there's worms underneath. Also, put 2 bits of carpet on. Keep them moist as well, and you got worms in between those 2 bits of carpet, extra worms, and I'll just empty them. So I'll keep going. I'll put this in one go. Save time. Level him off again. More carbon. Need a good way too. Filling one of these bins usually takes me just over a month. So we'd fill that today. I'll put my carpet on. Might as well show you the bung the lid off. Them are nice and moist, so they don't need waiting. So my lid will go on, and then the date will go on the top of that. Then I know from a month from that date he's going to be ready. It's an empty end. Might as well show you this while I'm here on the subject. This one that's emptied. So obviously when he's full, then I start using this one. If you look on the bottom of here, we've got chicken wire. So when I was doing a moisture check on my bins, I lifted the carpet and there's no worms in. And the mole got up and he told me bloody worms. So now I've chicken wire on the bottom, stop him getting in. But then all he's got to do, because you can see he's rolling under the wire, he's lying on his back with his mouth open. Worms would drop through the wire. He'd be on his bloody field day again. So now if I'm starting from scratch with here, I'll put 2 foot of straw in and then start putting my ingredients in. As I compress the straw, that compost is ready and out before that straw is broken down, meaning he ain't got no worms. Another time I was doing a moisture check, because I weren't got enough kitchen scraps myself when we got my old dear and my aunt in a rest home. I bribed the wenches in the kitchen with a couple of bottles of homemade wine, and they used to save me all their kitchen scraps. You know, I used to have loads on a Monday, and it's through using their stuff. I was doing a moisture check, and all the worms was round the lid, congregating round here, meaning I'm trying to get out. So I put my brain into gear, think what I've done, or I put something in that's upset them. Basically it was any onions, lemons or oranges, too acidic, and since I've kept them out I've had no problem whatsoever. So let's use in these. Here's a compost that's ready. I'm going to perv in there, Ben. This is ready now to use as a top dressing or a growing medium. There's still lumps in there. Obviously the big ones I'm going to bung out. But that's used as a top dressing on one of my raised beds or as a growing medium. Right, this bin here, this is a leaf mould. As you can see, you still get worms in it. It's more bacteria and fungi that break them down, but you still get worms. People saying you don't get worms in leaf mould. What a load. Just keep it moist. Don't forget mine. This is ready within 2-3 months. I've just used that as a growing medium, and that is kept moist and all. potted to well, one chili pepper on during the week in my own compost. I'm still doing a trial comparing it with a good multi-purpose compost, which we'll see later on. And this is the compost I'm using for that. Yeah, lift the carpet off. That's what I want to see. Worms. Brandling worms, tiger worms, compost worms. Any bits of crap, bung them out. Take them a week to go through that. But just look after them and they'll look after you. But a good dry medium. Don't forget them lumps. Again, I hang on to moisture, warmth and oxygen. Which multi-purpose compost ain't got no lumps. But we'll cover that when we see the stuff up the top as well. Okay. Right, now talking about raised beds and no dig cultivation. Since I come on site, I was the first one to have raised beds, and since I've been on site, 3/4 of the site now have raised beds. The good thing about the health and safety for the gardener, scaffolding boards. Get a little split in them now, they're cool using. When I first made my beds, it was out of wooden pallets, and I lined it with plastic, horticultural plastic, to look after the timber, as long as the timber's dry before you line it. But now I've replaced a lot with scaffolding boards, and they ain't going to last 30-40 years before they deteriorate. But you can tell they work. There's my sprouts. We're on in June. If you've got a good brew underneath, you're going to get a good brew on top. Sweet corn is doing well. Because we're surrounded by 3 fields, badgers are a pain in the arse. That's why I'm fenced in. Stop the bloody badger going in. They love sweet corn. So raised beds all the way down. Mate bought me that, put that up, taking the bloody pea. Onion sets, somebody gave me them, I did a talk a couple of days ago. Still not too late to go in. They'll go in when something else comes out. This is a wooden structure I made, meaning I've got 2 raised beds in there, which are undercover. Cheaper than having a tunnel. But these beds here, that one's going to be, I should put another scaffolding board on him end of the season, meaning I'm not bending, I'm working from waist height. And I've only had 1 onion set good to seed this year out them lot, so I'm done well with them. With this weather, we get the bloody summer. I've got a solar powered fan on the bottom. Without that it'd be too bloody hot in here. So there's environment on the bottom. Environment on here, bit of air circulation. And obviously my door is netted. So there's an air vent there. But tunnels are greenhouses this weather. They get bloody hot. So 2 good decent raised beds in there. But the hardest thing with raised beds is filling them. But it's most of the ingredients I put in my compost. And now an extra one which I've used this year, which I haven't before, was wood chip. Because you want your drainage on the bottom anyway. So I put at least 6 inches of wood chip. And that's going to break down anyway. But there's no roots going to touch it before it has broken down. Spent mushroom compost, spent tops, worm casts if you don't get it, topsoil if you don't get it, and leaf mould, garden compost, anything like that. And obviously muck, any muck you can get. But they're all good ingredients, so you can have a good brew. Right, let's have a quick curve in the tunnel. Because I've got a raised bed in here as well. You gotta think when you get old, less bloody work, because you don't dig anyway. With this one I dug down the sides as well, so I am working from waist height. But onion's doing well. Because I know I've got a good brew underneath, I'm going to get a good brew on top as well. Black and white plastic, that keeps the moisture in and repels the heat and the light back onto the plant. With the stuff outside, which I'll show you after, I use straw instead of plastic, and that keeps the moisture in. There was only one disadvantage for using raised beds. That was they dry out quicker. Now I've got around it by using straw as a mulch, and it works. And I do it up the greenhouse as well. And with tomatoes, I'm growing in the side of the greenhouse, straight in the soil, and they're drying out quick, especially when the sun's out. But giving a good soaking, top dressing with straw, and they lasted nearly 3 weeks without water before they went limp, telling me they needed a drink. So mulch works. So it's plastic inside with my exhibition stuff that I'm going to show, or straw outside if I can get away with it all. Right, on second bit of orchard here, and then my last 3 raised beds. I've got a full plot down to the tunnel and then half a plot down here. 2 rows of gladioli went out in here a couple of days ago. Cabbage obviously knitted because of the pigeons and a pain in the Harris and all. But this is, I think it's 2 beds I got left for me successive sowings of a gladioli. 3 weekly intervals, timing them, trying to time them for our show. But any bed, if I've just took a last cauliflower out of something, I then top dress it with garden compost or manure. It's all according to what I'm going to grow in it next. It's usually, well, both actually. Both of them two are full of worms. Top dressing, you'll need 1/2 inch, good watering, and then cover it with a weed suppressant. Within 10 days, them worms have done my digging. So when I need to do this bed, which is I think it's Tuesday, so it's 2 days away, when I'm sowing my gladioli again, I still have compost on. So I know that's broke down already. That can go straight out my gladies, same as what was in that. And I just top dress with straw, exactly the same as everything, just to keep the moisture in. With your beds, these are 26 foot long, meaning that's the width of the plot with a pathway either end. And that's the maximum I make my beds 4 foot wide. If you make them 4 foot wide, you can reach the middle from either side. You're never going to tread on it, so there's no compaction. If there's no compaction, you're never going to dig. You only dig because you've compacted the soil. You've got a good brew in there. There's nothing there. The good thing with raised beds, because there's no compaction, you've got the drainage, there's no waterlogging, the soil warms up quicker, you can plant out earlier. If we used to get a good thunderstorm after a dry spell like this, your soil would cake over on normal ground. On ground like this, you never have caking over, because you got a good medium in there, good brew. Weed wise, it's very rare I get weeds. The only weeds I'm going to get are seed which are airborne. Because I'm not digging, I'm not bringing dormant weed seeds to the surface. That's one of the main reasons you get bloody weeds. You're bringing the seeds back to the surface. So it's very rare that I weed. Right, we've just come back up on cup of tea. Compost, which we've just seen down there, is now ready to use. If I'm using it as a growing medium, which we are on this one, obviously I'm going to take all the worms out, throw them back in the compost. I don't need worms in using it as a growing medium, just in my raised beds to do my digging. This trial I started off a couple of months ago. I had these two on show as well, the BBC Gardeners World Live. These are both Carolina Reaper chilies, hot and good ones. These two are both started off as seedlings, i.e. picked out at the same time. One in the multi-purpose compost, a good brand name, and one in my own garden compost. I took these to BBC Gardeners World Live, that was on display there, just to show people that mine was on par with the compost. Meaning, well, look at him now, within 3 days, 4 days, he's taken over the one in the multi-purpose compost. So my system of making the compost is working. White, nice thick roots tell me it's working anyway. I can't upend these and show you the root structure because these was potted, those in half size pots, and those only been potted on 3 days, so I don't might as well bloody try it. I don't want it to collapse just in case it does. I'll try it for you though. I might get away with it just to show you my compost. If I was to do with that with this one, I don't know whether this is going to collapse or work. No, it should be alright. But all the compost I use, multi-purpose compost for bedded plants, anything like that, I always put vermiculite in. I like using that as well. So that's all that compost is going there. If I was to water now, that water goes straight through. There's nothing in there to hang on to anything. If I water mine, because I've still got lumps in there, that's where I'll hang on to moisture, warmth and oxygen, which is what roots need. And if I can do it, the councils can do it and the government can do it, because they're all natural products. 3/4 of them are free. There's only so many I'm buying in, but that's just through trial. I want to try them. I got in touch with the government probably about 6 years ago, because I'm after an alternative to peat. But I needed it in writing. I knew my stuff was good, the roots told me that. There's loads of places you can send away your soil for a pH test, nutrients, trace elements and whatever. And there's also a place now you can send your compost away. And that was Laverstoke Park Laboratories down Hampshire. This was 2013. I've only had the one done. It cost about bloody 80 quid. I know it works anyway, that tells you it works, but I needed it in writing just to send to the government saying, if I can do it, you can do it. Well, I never had a reply back, and the mate says you won't get a reply back because they've got about 8 million, 12 people and 5 years to find an alternative to peat. If they take it, then they're out of a job either. So I've put in for Dragon's Den, waiting to go on there. Back to Laverstoke. I know the pH was good and all this rubbish, but this is the small print which I wanted. Bacterial activity, excellent. Fungal activity, excellent. Fungal biomass, exceptional. That's all I needed to know. When I got in touch with them, I found out there was 3 or 4 lab technicians. I sent my DVD and my composting methods so they knew what ingredients I use for my compost. And I asked them to do the trial on my compost, do the test, look at the DVD, and I want to use it as a growing medium, so tell me what I've got to keep out, or what have I got to add to get it as a good growing medium. And on there, nothing to take out, nothing to add, which tells me, and I sent them a copy as well, the government, for them ragwards. Anyway, I'm using that as a growing medium, and which I know is good. If you make good compost, you can also make compost tea. I've been doing this in the States now for bloody moons, but us being thick as shit in the UK, we're behind everybody with everything. And the compost tree seminars started about 5 or 6 years ago. I went to the first one down Sting's place. Yeah, the first compost tea seminar in the UK, trying to get our farmers into using compost tea. Basically, if you make good compost, this is from the States. Can you get there? No, not Ben. That's how big they do it out there, which they do anyway. They do it properly. But basically, the farmers or whoever is making the compost tea, and the the liquid you get out of it, whatever you're growing, sweet corn or whatever, you do a drench, so it drenches everything. It puts a coating onto the plants, and then it feeds the soil. And after the second, third coating, you don't need insecticides and you don't need fertilisers. Everything is in the compost tea, and it's working. And it's just trying to get our lot into it. I started using it, and the end results I was getting was fantastic, and I've just got to start getting back into it again now. because I'm that busy running around like a blue house doing loads of other things. I've just knocked one thing on the head, so I now start making me compost tea again. So basically, I get me a good dollop of compost up here, and it's got to be aerated, and you're getting more goodness out of that compost. I use a brewer. You got an air brick, similar to ones you go in a fish tank or whatever. That's your oxygen, obviously. You bung that in the bottom. Put your water in. You've got to use rainwater. If you use tap water, there's that much crap, well, in the UK, there's that much crap in tap water to look after our teeth. Tap water will kill the good bacteria and fungi what's in there. You've got to use rainwater. Pump and plug them in. With my, just have a quick perv up here, Ben. With my rainwater up here, obviously it's collecting rain off the shed. If I've emptied him and I've got no choice, I've got to use tap water, then I just use two cupfuls of J's fluid in there, and then leave it 12 hours, and that'll kill all the crap what's in the water. I can then use it. So I'm making a brew of compost. If you don't make very good compost, or you don't make it quick enough, you can send away for these starter packs. Compost tea starter pack. There's quite a few places do it, but anything new that comes out for the gardener, then I'm into it and I find out who's doing the best. So you can use there or your own compost. Basically, put it in a pair of tights. That's like a tea bag. Basically, you've got no lumps in there, because I want to use it as a foliar feed as well. So it'll be in a sprayer at the end. And you just brew it in there 12-24 hours, whatever it tells you on the instructions. Yeah, molasses, that's your sugars, that's your kickstart, that's what gets it going. This is exactly the same as if you make your own wine and you put a yeast in. That's your kickstart for your wine there. This is your kickstart for your compost tea. But once that's finished brewing, then it's best to use it within an hour or so, if you can do it a couple of hours, because the bacteria, fungi, as soon as they come off that oxygen, they start dying off slowly. But as a foliar feed and as a drench feed, obviously when the sun's off them, if you're foliar feeding, but it is excellent stuff. One other good thing, which I'll just go and get out, I'll come back to you a bit. Right, something else that come out, this come out a few years back. This is also from Symbio. I buy this bulk, and this Mycorrhizal Fungi. This is beautiful stuff. Best thing for the gardener for bloody moons. Basically, years ago I used to cheat before I made my own leaf mould, and I used to go to a forest or a wood, and I used to nick the leaf mould, I used to scrape it up, and behind used to be white fibrous roots. That is Mycorrhizal Fungi. It took the big boys 20 years to find out what it was, that it was a good fungi. It took them then another 10 years to make it in powder form. So when it did come out, the Zendo and Ecto, basically, the different mycorrhizas for different things. So I rung them all up, find out who's doing the best one, and I buy bulk, exactly the same again for our trading sheds, and I just bag it up loose. But it is excellent stuff. The good thing about the mycorrhizal fungi, one application per life of the plant. So all my fruit trees as well, they've had a good dosage, and I'll just forget about them now. But all you need with these, if I'm starting something out in plastic drinking cups, put your finger into the hole and you'll need a pinch in the hole. That root has got to touch it to work. You know the root's going to touch it, you just put it in the hole, and it becomes active when it's watered. And if you're just planting something, you're going to water it. But it is excellent stuff. Basically, hyphae roots come off the whatever roots you've got growing, and they will go deeper and wider, 10-20 feet more so than the plant, giving you even a better root structure than what you've got originally. The only drawback with this now, with that size greenhouse, because it ain't big enough, I was using mycorrhizal fungi and everything. The plants were getting that big before they went out. I was running out of room, so now I don't use them on anything until they get planted out. That's how good it is. But it's brilliant. Right, just to finish off, quick one in the greenhouse. If you remember the raised beds on the plot, because they're covered in straw to keep the moisture in. Exactly the same as a greenhouse here, but I straw these lot as well, and it does work. These were late going out, that's why they ain't no size or nothing, because I've got all my stuff here for the BBC Gardeners World live display. In the summer, instead of using cool glass outside, just use a self-raising flour, a bit of water, make your own paste and just paint it on. And when the sun is out, it keeps it nice and cool. Don't get boring the stuff. Recap on the composting: the smaller you can get the ingredients, the more you can mix with other things, the quicker the breakdown process. You ain't got to do what I do or use the ingredients that I use, but they're all natural products. The majority of them are free. If they're natural, it's part of nature. They're going to break down, and just work with nature as much as you can. Keep the compost moist, meaning you're going to keep the worms there. That's their food, and they will go through their food and multiply rapidly, meaning you're getting more worms all the time. You don't need many worms to start off with. You look after them and they will multiply. I'm in heaven. I'm just going for it. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Good composting.